So now that we have our duck logic in place, let's add this new component to our player, and let's connect up all the buttons. We'll select the player instance, and we'll add the component duck, and now we'll need to configure it. Here, we'll have the input buttons, and here we'll change the size to 1, we'll set the button to down, and we'll leave the scale and everything else as is for right now. Next, we'll need to remap the down button inside of our input manager. Let's select the input manager, we'll close out some of these that we've already mapped, and let's create a new element in this array, which is going to copy over from our jump. In this case, we're going to want to actually change this to the vertical axis. Next, we're going to want to map this to the down button, and we're going to want to make sure that it's less than 0. Now, if we save our changes and run our game, we should be able to duck. Let's zoom into the player by double-clicking on him in the hierarchy and give the Game tab its focus back, and then press the down key. You'll see that the collider goes from large to small. Now, as of right now, this is the technical duck state. When you're holding the down key, the player will actually be smaller. The only thing that's missing is that we don't have a duck animation. Let's stop the game and add that. While having the player selected, we'll go back into the animation panel and we'll add a new clip, and we'll call this Player Normal Duck Animation. And let's make sure that we save this into our animations folder. Next, we'll go into the artwork folder and we'll look for the duck animation. We'll drag it over and set the sample rate to 12. Now, in our animator, we'll have the new duck state. We'll drag this down and then connect any state to the new duck animation. Let's select the transition, go into settings, remove the duration, uncheck can transition to self, and as we scroll down, we'll add a new anim state, making it equal 3. Remember, idle is 0, walk is 1, jump is 2, and duck is now 3. We'll save our changes, and now let's open up the Player Manager and add in this logic. In the Player Manager, we're going to need a reference to the duck behavior. Let's create a private property for the duck behavior and type it to the duck class. At the end of awake, we'll copy the last line, repaste it, and simply rename this duck behavior, and we'll get the duck component. Now, at the end of update, let's go ahead and test whether we're actually ducking or not. Here we'll see if the duck behavior is ducking, and if it is, we're going to change the animation state to 3, which is our duck transition. We'll save our script, we'll go back into Unity, and now let's rerun the game. Now, giving the Game tab focus, if we hit down, you'll see that our player ducks. But we still have one little problem. You can still move and jump while you're ducking. Now, you might want this in your game, but in most games, when the player ducks, we actually will disable other behaviors. In the next video, we'll talk about how to change our abstract behavior to allow us to enable and disable other behaviors without having to tightly couple to them.